the prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandrodaya ki jai Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Nitai Gaura Premanande ki Gaur. So welcome back to the Sunday session, which we were not having for a few weeks because of festivals and Kartik month. We'll resume the session from today onwards. So we have been discussing on this book known as The Science of Self-Realization. We have been going topic-wise in this book and trying to understand the various philosophical principles, the Bhagavad Gita teachings, and the Vedic wisdom through these sessions. So today we have an interesting topic for all of you, which is going to give us a Vedic perspective of this modern society, especially Indian society, how the modern society has transformed or is totally going in one direction, and what is the Vedic understanding, how the society has to be governed. So this particular discussion point today, what we are having, is taken from one topic from this book, Science of Self-Realization, wherein there is a main topic known as how to find cure for the various social ills we are seeing in the society. So let's begin our presentation. So, as I told you, the topic is the Vedic perspective of modern society. Around us, there are many things which are going, even from our point of view, not properly. It is going in a different direction. So, how to find a solution for all of them? That is the main topic. The subtopic is to understand what it is actually, what is society, what is the various aspects of society, what is happening now, and what is actual, what is it is supposed to be actually happening. So the inspiration for this session is our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, who tirelessly at his very advanced age went to the Western countries and traveled across the globe, and he has very kindly given us many teachings through his books. And also there are many recorded talks of his lectures and conversations with eminent personalities across the world. So today we're going to have two important questions, address two important questions, which is actually our observation also in the society. The first point which we're going to discuss is the influence of religion over the masses decreasing? Is our generation, young generation, new generation, are they, why is that their interest in religion is decreasing? And because of decrease in the interest for practicing religion, our moral values, our ethical values, and many other aspects in society which we are seeing as corruption, is it on rise, is the question. So we'll try to introspect on this aspect from the Vedic perspective, how the influence of religion being decreasing or waning in the society, how it is going to influence the society and the people. There's a wonderful prediction in the Srimad Bhagavata, wherein Shukadeva Goswami says, Tataschanu dinam dharmaha satyam shaucham kshamadaya Kalena Balina Rajan Nangshanti Ayur Balam Smritihi. It is a prediction about what is going to happen in Kali Yuga. So Srimad Bhagavata is a Vedic scripture which was compiled 5,000 years ago by Vyasadeva. And he exactly predicted what will be the situation in Kali Yuga. So this is the authenticity of the scriptures, that they can exactly tell what will be the situation in the society going forward. So they know what is future, what happened in the past is recorded, and what is happening, that's presented in a wonderful manner. And what is going to happen in the future is also predicted in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So what does Bhagavatam say about Kali Yuga situation? It says that Shukadeva Goswami said, then, O king, religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, duration of life, physical strength, and memory will all diminish day by day because of the powerful influence of the age of Kali. So this is the prediction by Bhagavata, that 8 aspects which are considered as very important aspects in our human life, they are going to diminish day by day. So what are they? The religion, dharma, the following of the practices and the different various processes for our elevation to the higher status of life, and being truthful in our dealings, maintaining cleanliness, and being tolerant with various aspects in our life, and the compassion towards other living beings, even our duration of life, our span of life, the strength what we have, and the memory will day by day decrease, because the age of Kali means all of these things will gradually diminish. That is the prediction made in Srimad Bhagavata. So these 8 different aspects or qualities which we just now discussed, they are considered as the human assets which clearly distinguishes a human being from the animal. Very important to note. Just like one of the qualities we mentioned just now is about mercy, compassion. Nowadays, we are seeing that people are addicted to eating animal food. So when you have animal food, the aspect of mercy is completely is going away from our existence, right? Because mercy means you see every other entity in this existence like how you want to get treated. You want to treat every other living entity in this world in a similar way, right? So mercy or compassion is an important aspect of our existence, wherein we should understand that every living entity has the right to live. But nowadays we are seeing that there are big establishments, slaughterhouses, which are actually having very elaborate arrangements to mercilessly kill many lakhs and lakhs of animals every day as our food, for our food. So this is very alarming. So this aspect is being pointed out in Bhagavata. So likewise, similarly, if you say duration of our life is reduced to a considerable extent. Say for in Kali Yuga, a person is supposed to have a lifespan of 100 years. But we are hardly seeing anybody having this lifespan. The duration of life is diminished to a considerable extent. Say a person is living for 60 years, 70 years, he has lived his life, we think. And gradually, time will come wherein a person will just be 20 years or 30 years. He will be considered as a grand old man. This is a prediction in Bhagavata further. So like this, we are seeing many important aspects which are considered as human assets are diminishing day by day. When these assets are reduced, we will be reducing ourselves, or we will be coming down to the level of animals as per the Bhagavata understanding. So as these things will decline, and gradually Bhagavata's prediction is that we'll come to the platform of animals. Especially when it is said about religion, dharma. What does religion mean? Religion basically means the laws of God, which we are supposed to be following. Just like state laws. State laws you're abiding by strictly, then you're called a citizen, a good citizen. So likewise, when you're abiding by the laws of the God, you're religious. If you don't abide by laws of God, then you are not on the platform of human. That is the understanding which the scriptures give us. There's a nice statement in the Vedas which says, Ahara nidra bhaya maithunam cha samanya metat pashubhir narana. Both humans and pashu, animals, have four things in common. What are they? Ahara. Ahara means eating. Nidra means sleeping. Bhaya means defense. And maithuna. Excuse me. But maithuna means having sense gratification. And the highest type of sense gratification is having sexual intercourse. So these four things are common to humans as well as animals. So when these four things, which are common to both of us, humans and animals, and we just go on performing our life, think that we just have to do these four things, then we are not on the human platform. So further, the statement says, Vedic literature statement says that we are supposed to transcend the situation of animalistic way of living to human form of life. It says, dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesha. In the human form of life, especially, there is an opportunity for us to deliberate on spiritual subject matters, on aspect that who I am, why am I here, is called dharma. So a special facility, a special privilege is there in the human form of life to deliberate on these aspects. So that's the reason human form of life is considered to be very special. So this facility is there in human form of life that distinguishes the human being from animal. So all these different aspects, 8 different qualities you just now mentioned, dharma, satya, then ayu, bala, then mercy, so many aspects. So all these things, if they are not there in human form of life, then they are as good as animals. That's what the scriptures say. So if these qualities are diminishing in a human form, that means gradually they'll come to the platform of animals. Let us go to the next slide. So if the human being is getting disinterested with these things, then these as good as animal. Just now we discussed on this point. So definitely when there is no such arrangement with regard to human being following all these principles, then there can be no happiness or peace in the society. In a society of animals, there is no happiness and peace, right? There is only, just like the example is given in the scriptures, when there's you have around 10 dogs in a room, and you tell them to be peaceful, can they be peaceful? No, they cannot be peaceful. They'll be barking at each other. They'll be, snarling at each other. This is the situation. So we have to understand that the situation with human society has become like that. We become like behaving like animals or less than animals. Generally, now a nice example is given in our teachings. How presently the immigration department, yes, of course, there is a security required, there's law and order required to see that there's no infringement of the peace and other aspects in a particular country. But nevertheless, if you see from the Vedic perspective, the whole world is considered as the property of God. And anybody and everybody has right to go and live anywhere. But right now, we have demarcated ourselves as different countries with different boundaries and so many aspects. There is so many regulations. Even to go to one more country, we're supposed to follow so many rules and regulations. Right? It's like how one dog in a particular street, he thinks that this is my street. Any other dog comes to the street, he will be forced to, like he'll be chased away from the street. That is the situation we are seeing right now. Right? Let's move to the next slide. So, like this, we can see that the present society is actually degrading in its status. In logic, there is a statement which is called man is rational animal. Right? So, when the rationality is missing in the man, then he'll only remain animal. Where is the human being? Right? That is the point. So, if you get into the bottom of the aspect, why people are unhappy now? What is the reason? The basic reason why people are unhappy is the basic principles of the religion are not being followed. Nobody is following the principles of religion. They are neglecting religion. Again, religion should not be taken as something which is sentimental or sectarian. No. Actually, the word religion in English is not a proper translation of the word dharma. Dharma is explained in the various Vedic writings as being very constitutional to our nature, as being very basic to our nature. That which will reflect our spiritual nature is called dharma. Right? So, all the various practices, all the various rules, regulations we follow is going to awaken our spiritual nature. That is called dharma. So, dharma is not that it is a just artificially we are following some rules and regulations, and then there is nothing that we have to follow them. Is no necessity. It's just an optional. Nothing like that. Right. So, dharma basically means. Excuse me. Sorry for the interruption. So, the dharma basically means something which is very basic to our nature as Atma, that practices we have to follow. Right now, what is happening in human society, the different practices we are having or different things we are doing is not going with our nature of Atma. It is contrary to our nature. That's why we are unhappy. A simple example is given in the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. He says, when a fish is taken out of water, and the land is a foreign land for fish, it can never be happy. So likewise, we as spirit souls, we are supposed to have spiritual nature, spiritual atmosphere around us. Right now, we are surrounded by material nature, material atmosphere, because of which we are unhappy. That is the point. So the religious principles are not simply some optional or something which we have to follow or don't follow, doesn't matter. No, they are a necessity. They are part of our spiritual requirement as spirit souls. So because we are neglecting religion, we are unhappy presently. This is the analysis given by Srila Prabhupada about the modern society. How the Vedic principle, the Vedic way of life means everything was centered around how to practice religion, dharma, dharmic principles. In every aspect of life, there were dharmic principles ingrained. But nowadays, people are neglecting dharmic principles. They want to do whatever they want. They are just happy to follow whatever they want to follow. This is the problem with the present society. It's like we see the communists, especially, are very strictly opposing religion. Because in the history, there are many instances wherein the religion was misused. The religious system was misused for power, for dictatorship, for so many other reasons. So the communists, as a class of people, they want to oppose strictly any religion. Right? So just because some aspects of religion was misused by somebody doesn't mean religion itself is bad. See what it has come to. Right? One thing is people are not following religion. Secondly, if they are following, they are using religion as a means to fulfill their personal agenda. So this is what is happening presently. So in order to say understand this matter more deeply, Prabhupada gives us a wonderful example. He says, just like you are having some trouble with your eye, you have a cataract. So when you have a cataract, if you think the best solution is you take out the eyes, no cataract. Is that the solution? But if you take out the eyes, you'll have no more eyes. But the cataract, if it is operated properly and cataract is removed, then again you'll get your vision back. So the different type of ideologies or different type of people-isms which are going on in society right now, as this is the best, or they're trying to avoid religion altogether. Right now, that is what is happening in society. They're having secularism, communism, thatism, thisism. They want to deliberately avoid the different principles of dharma in life. When you say it is dharma, religion, they want to just get away from that. They say spirituality, but they say spirituality is without religion. It's again, not in a proper line of understanding. Because dharma basically means, religion means understanding the spiritual nature of Atma and trying to align ourselves with that nature. So we cannot separate spirituality with dharma or religion. It's like heat and fire, heat and light of the fire. How can you separate heat from light in the fire? It's like that. So right now, just because the religion has been misused or it has been exploited for various reasons, doesn't mean religion itself is bad. Right? Just that we need to understand the proper perspective of why it has happened in that way and take the corrective measures. That's the point. So this is the present day situation in the modern society. What we are experiencing. With regard to the ISKCON Hare Krishna movement, Krishna Consciousness Society, which Srila Prabhupada has established, when somebody is questioning who is God, what is the conception of God, Prabhupada says we have got a very clear conception of God. There's a nice statement which Lord Brahma makes with regard to glorifying Lord Krishna. He says, Venum Kvanantam Aravinda Dalayataksham Barhavatam Samasitam Muda Sundarangam Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Right. So you're discussing on the point of how there are different types of understanding now. Either it's completely atheistic understanding that there is no God, there is no religion, or a class of followers, communists, who want to strictly avoid religion in different ways because religion has been misused, or there are different types of people who follow religion in their own concocted way, manufactured way. Nobody has a clear conception of who is God, what is religion, what are the principles of religion. For their own purpose, people have manufactured different ways and means to follow something which they call it as religion. Whereas when it comes to Hare Krishna movement or ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada established an authentic organization based on the Vedic principles, based on Bhagavad Gita, which we have been discussing in our previous sessions. So this is a very authentic scientific movement, which is presented as a cultural, spiritual movement, presented wherein a very clear understanding of God is given. Just like the verse just now we read, which is spoken by Lord Brahma himself, gives a very vivid description of who is God. Right? The meaning of this is, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, whose blooming eyes are like lotus petals, whose head is bedecked with a peacock's feather, whose figure of beauty is tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and whose unique loveliness charms millions of cupids. So here you can see how detailed description is being given with regard to Krishna's personality. Right? This personality is playing on a flute, and his eyes are beautiful like blooming lotus petals, and his head is decorated with a peacock feather, and his beauty is so wonderful. It's like the blue clouds are very beautiful. Like that, his body is tinged with hue of blue. And he's so attractive, so charming, that millions of cupids' beauty is also cannot compare with regard to this personality. This Cupid is known as Kamadeva in this material world, who is attracting the opposite sex, right? Because of Cupid's function, the man and woman get attracted. So Cupid is considered to be very, very beautiful, very charming. He's a personality, he's a devata in charge for this particular action. So this Cupid's beauty is so charming, and Krishna's beauty is even more enchanting, that even millions of Cupid's beauty is nothing before Krishna's beauty. This is Krishna's personality. Such a personality is Lord Krishna. In that way, we can see how nicely this description has been given with regard to who is Lord Krishna, what is his situation, what is his personality, right? Next, we go to the next point. This is what Prabhupada want to say, that they have no clear conception of God, they do not know what God is, and they are professing some religion. How long can it go on artificially? It will deteriorate. That has become the present condition. They have no idea of God, so how will they know what is the order of God? Religion means the order of God. For example, law means the order of the state. If there is no state, then where is the order? If there is no government, then where is the law? Just see how nicely Prabhupada is explaining to us the various aspects of the different aspects of the present society, how people have no conception of God. And there's no conception of God, they don't know what is God. How can they say they are following some religion? This is the point. It's all artificial. So the society, what we are experiencing, or what we are living right now, is all at one level, superficial level. So basically, nobody is trying to understand who is God, what is religion, all these things. So if there is, it's like the wonderful example Prabhupada is giving us here, that state laws, the state laws are there, then the government is existing. Likewise, if there is no government, then where is the law? Right? People have no conception of God, and therefore they have no understanding of religion. That is the decline. And because religion is declining, human beings are becoming more and more like animals. So our situation is being very nicely explained here. We may say that, oh, we are all humans, we are all civilized human beings, we are all polished human beings, we are all educated human beings. But the reality of things is that our behavior, our thinking, our way of action is equal to the level of animals. As I was telling you, the scriptures say, animals and humans have 4 things in common: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. If we conduct our life just for these 4 things and don't consider that what is the purpose of life, what we are supposed to be doing, then we are as good as animals. It is mentioned that we are Dvipada Pashu, means we are 2-legged animals. In the earlier session, we had also heard Prabhupada saying we are polished animals. So this is our situation. So we have to little introspect on this aspect. What is our situation right now? What is that we are supposed to be doing as human beings? So definitely the influence of religion is decreasing day by day, declining day by day. And the modern generation has no understanding of what is dharma, what is the principles of dharma to be followed in life. They are completely misled with the so-called glare of modern technological advancements, or the glare of the Western civilization, and they're completely forgetting their true existence. Which means the purpose of human life is completely destroyed. So because it is declining like this, human being is becoming more and more like animals. And the main difference between animal and human is that animals means there will be no memory. A very nice example is given by Prabhupada. It's like animal, if you're eating something and suddenly animal comes, if you hut, you want to chase it away. So if a human being is done like this, you immediately understand he will not come back again to eat the food or ask you again. It's like sometimes beggar come and they ask something, you tell no, you go. Beggar will go away. Animals are not like that. Once you chase them, again they'll come, which means their memory is very short. So human beings are becoming like that, shortened in their memory. And because of shortening of memory, they'll remain like animals. These are very, very, very harsh statements to hear. Oh, how are you telling humans are like animals? This is what scriptures say. If you are not following the principles of dharma as given in the standard scriptures, then you are as good as animal. So sooner we awaken to our actual situation and move forward and lead a life of human and perfect our human life. That is the message which we have to understand from this discussion we had just now. We will take up the next point of discussion. The first one was about how influence of religion is decreasing, and because of which the human society is having so many problems. Next important accusation which generally people have is that traditional charge against Hinduism is that it is fatalistic. That is, it inhibits the progress of the mankind. Is this true? Right? In the Hindu community or Hindu religion, people say there is no scope of advancement, there is no scope of growth. We are very primitive. In that way, some things have been imposed upon us, and then they say, what is the use? We should be modern. We should be going forward in our life, and we should be having big skyscrapers. We should have smart cities. We should have technological advancements and have a life of complete enjoyment. That is advancement, people think. So what is the actual understanding from the Vedic perspective? Let us get into the understanding. So Prabhupada says this charge is actually false. That Hinduism is, the principles of Hinduism are fatalistic for human society, for a human being. There's no scope for development is false charge. Actually, the way of life which all of us are following, at least in tract of India, is not actually Hinduism. There is no such word mentioned as Hinduism in the entire Vedic literature, or even for that matter in Bhagavad Gita. We will not get even one word called Hindu or Hinduism. And this Hindu is a word coined by people, especially Muslims, who are living on the other side of the Sindh River. Right? The Sindh River is pronounced by the Muslims as Hind or Hindu. So people living on the other side of the Sindh River, they're called Hindus. So there is no such word as Hinduism or Hindu in Vedic scriptures, and especially we are known as Sanatana Dharmis, or followers of Sanatana Dharma or Varnashrama Dharma. It's very scientific way of approach for what we are following. We are Sanatana means we are eternally spirit souls, and as spirit souls we have a responsibility, we have a duty. And Varnashrama, we have discussed in the previous sessions also. Varnashrama Dharma basically means that society is divided into 4 social divisions and 4 spiritual divisions, and all of them are given opportunity to move forward in their spiritual progress. So the main concern was about the existence as spirit soul. Body is just, it is incidental for our life. Today I have one body, tomorrow I'll get one more body. But when you get a human body, the whole purpose was how to move forward in the spiritual life. Right? How to move forward and achieve perfection of human life. That is, no more taking birth and death, get liberation. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. You have heard these aspects mentioned in the Vedic scriptures. So like this charge that the Hinduism is fatalistic or there is no scope for improvement or progress is wrong. How it is so, we'll try to analyze with some more points of discussion. Prabhupada says, just like a dog is running here and there, and you are running on the 4 wheels, is that progress? It's a very important question to deliberate upon. Right? Animals also are moving, you're also moving. Just like earlier, they used to have horse carriages before the invention of motor cars or automobiles. But even now, the engines in the cars or automobiles are called the horsepower. This word is still retained, which means earlier the horses used to drive the carts or the carriages. So now we are having machines which is taking us around. Is that advancement? Is the question. Right? We'll come to this point little later once we have covered some more points to understand this point. According to the Vedic system, the human being has a certain amount of energy. Right? And since the human being has better consciousness than the animals, this we have discussed, the energy of the human being is more valuable than the energy of the animals. Right? So, as per the Vedic scriptures, we have gone through a system of evolution. Right? We have gone through evolution of various species of life and come to the human form of life. It is like a person who has put quite a number of years in a company or organization. He has got promoted to a higher position. Maybe he has just joined as a simple worker. Now he's come to a senior manager or say in a much senior position after some considerable time. So likewise, going through various species of life, we have got evolved and we have come to the human form of life. Human form of life means most advanced consciousness, most developed intelligence. Right? So in this, with this developed intelligence, our faculties of this human body is supposed to be utilized for various important aspects of life. If we don't utilize these aspects of our human energy in a proper way, then we are misusing the asset we have got. This is what scriptures say. So our human energy should be utilized properly for spiritual advancement, not for anything else. So human energy should be utilized for spiritual advancement, and not the energy should be employed to compete with the animals. Here specifically, Prabhupada takes the example of a dog. So the whole perspective, Vedic perspective, is that you are supposed to advance spiritually, not that you compete with animals or some other aspects and then go on in your life. The saintly person is not busy like the dog. What is the dog's business or any animal's business? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So today people think that dog race is life, but actual life is spiritual progress. It's a very direct statements from Prabhupada's teachings, wherein it is going to really touch our heart, and you will start introspecting about, what am I doing? Right? So actual life is spiritual progress. So every day we have to see how much I have progressed spiritually, how much I have moved forward in my spiritual understanding, spiritual thinking, how much I have gained spiritual knowledge, right? How much I practiced spirituality. This is what we're supposed to assess ourselves with. The Bhagavata gives a wonderful perspective on this. It says, Tasyeva heto prayateta kovido nalabhyate yad brahmatam uparyataha tallabhyate dukkhavad anyata sukham kalena sarvatra gabhira ramhasa. It says, the meaning of this is, persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor for only that purpose which is not obtainable even by wandering from topmost planet, it's the Brahmaloka, down to the lowest planet, Patala. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in the course of time. Just as in the course of time, we obtain miseries, even though we do not desire them. It's a very important, significant verse, which is actually going to give us a wonderful perspective of what is the purpose of human life and presently what are we doing. Right? So this verse is telling Kovidaha. Kovidaha basically means one who is philosophically inclined, who is intelligent. Right now, the human form of life is considered to be the most intelligent status of life amongst all the different species of life. And human being is also known to be philosophically inclined. Right? Whereas animals, whatever endeavor you do, they cannot understand this aspect. They cannot understand the subject matter. That is the difference. So here we can see the Bhagavata is telling very nicely, in Prabhupada's simple words, I'll be trying to understand this. The human being should exert his energy for that thing that he did not get in many, many lives. Right? In many, many lives, the soul has been in the forms of dogs, demigods, cats, birds, beasts, and many others. There are 84 lakh different types of bodies. So this transmigration of the soul is going on. This business, in every case, is sense gratification. So every form of life, whether animal, bird, tree, or whatever it is, every form of life, the whole business is how to enjoy senses. Right? So this is what is happening. So human form of life also, if we just engage our time, energy in just these aspects of gratifying our senses, then the purpose of human life is defeated. So the human form of life is given for a special purpose. So that's why here Prabhupada is telling that we have to endeavor and exert our energy in that direction, which in many, many lives we are not able to achieve that. Right? A wonderful opportunity has been given, a wonderful vehicle has been given to us. So let us use this opportunity in a proper way. If you misuse, it is going to be a big loss. That's why it is said, Durlabham Manusham Janma. Human form of life you have got after so much of evolutionary cycles going through. So rarely we have got this human form of life, and then we should not misuse it. Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapi Arthadam Adhruvam. Even though it is temporary, but it is full of purpose and full of meaning. This is what Bhagavata is telling us. So we should know the value of human life and how we have got this human life. Just like with great endeavor, somebody has come to a good position. If he misuses that position, then he will lose the position again. All his hard work, hard struggle for so many years will be of no use. Likewise, many lifetimes we have gone through to get this human form of life. And now that we have got the human form of life, understand the importance of this human life and utilize it properly. So what is the purpose of human life? To achieve spiritual advancement, spiritual progress, and liberation from this material world. That is the purpose of human life. So for example, the example of how in every form of life, we are all busy in sense gratification. Prabhupada says, the dog is busy for sense gratification. What is sense gratification? Ahara, where is food? Where is nidra? Where is bhaya? Where is maithuna? Where is female? Where is defense? Where is shelter? This is what dog is doing. Any animal for that matter, this is what it is doing. If we are also busy with these four things and don't understand the purpose of life and act accordingly, then there is no difference. A man is also doing the same business in different ways. The business is going on life after life. So even a small insect is trying for the same thing. Birds, beasts, fish, everywhere the same struggle is going on. Where is food? Where is sex? Where is shelter? And how to defend. Right? Every species of life, same business is happening. Sense gratification. So to summarize this, we have nice statements in the Vedic scriptures. The Vedic literature says that these things we have done many, many lives. And if we don't get out of this struggle for existence, then we will have to do them again for many, many lives. That's why it is called Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Repeating the same thing. The nice statement by Prahlad Maharaj in the Bhagavata, it says, Puna Sharvita Charvanana. Achieving the achieved. It's a nice short story. Prabhupada says how a sugar cane was completely, it was squeezed and the juice from that was taken out and the pulp was thrown. Sugar cane pulp. Somebody comes and says, oh, sugar cane. He again starts chewing that, which has no juice. Again, he's chewing, trying to extract some more from juice from that. Our material life is like that. Chewing the achieved. There is no juice there, but again you want to achieve it. You again want to experience it. That is what this material life is. Material life means going through different bodies and experience the same type of life. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. This is material life. So Prahlada Maharaj, in one more statement in Bhagavata, he says, Sukham Aindriyakam Daitya Deha Yogena Dehina Sarvatra Labhyate Daivad Yatha Dukkham Ayatnataha. He says, my dear friends, born of demoniac families, the happiness perceived with reference to the sense objects by contact with the body can be obtained in any form of life. According to one's past fruitive activities, such happiness is automatically obtained without endeavor, just as we obtain distress. We'll explain this now. It's a very nice statement by Prahlad Maharaj. It basically means Prahlad Maharaj is talking about what is known as destiny. All of us are familiar with this word destiny, bhagya. right? What is this destiny actually? In today's session, I'm going to touch on this topic little, but in the next session, I'm going to further elaborate on this very important topic, very interesting topic, in fact, because many times we have many things planned in our life, and we go to an astrologer to find out what is my future and how to move forward in my life, and many things. Right? These are very subtle aspects which is influencing our way of thinking, way of functioning, and way of moving forward in our life. So this brings us to an important point of discussion here about destiny. What is destiny? And how it is influencing our life. So this Prahlad Maharaj statement that the happiness and distress what we are experiencing is available in every form of life. And how it is influencing us is what we are going to discuss today in a very brief manner. In the next session, we are going to further elaborate on this point. Hare Krishna. Host can give me the presentation is stopped. Haribol. Okay, sorry for that technical problem. So, what is destiny? So, there are two types of destiny which the scriptures mention. One is called material destiny. One more is called spiritual destiny. Right? According to whatever kind of body one has acquired, the material destiny is already fixed. The pleasure, what you want to experience, is already stored up. So today we'll touch upon the material destiny only. We'll speak more about spiritual destiny in the next session. So the material destiny means you have got one type of body, and whatever happiness and distress you're going to experience is already fixed. That is called destiny. So what is that? Let's take some examples. For example, a pig has got a certain type of body, and his eatable is the stool, right? You cannot change it. The pig will, if you tell pig, oh, let you come and have some halwa or some samosa, pig is not interested, because the type of body which he has got, he must eat like that. So Prabhupada is challenging, can any scientist improve the standard of living of the pig? Like this, if you take any example, every species of life has one type of body, and the type of body is having stored up some type of happiness in which they'll experience in that way. A mosquito or a dog or a cat or an animal or a bird, based on the body, the experience of pleasure is stored up in the body. That is called destiny. So you cannot change the type of happiness or the experience which that particular entity engaged in the body. You cannot change it, right? You cannot make a dog to behave like a human being. Not possible, because the type of body is designed to function in a specific manner. It is an instrument. It's like a mobile cannot be used to function like some other electronic equipment, right? So similarly, one thing what is designed for a specific purpose, or one body what we have got in a specific way, has some stored up energy, has a stored up ways of functioning, experiencing things. It has to happen in that particular way. That's what Prahlad Maharaj is telling. So people are thinking, excuse me. So example, one more example is there. The dog has a body and I have a body, right? So my sex pleasure and the dog's sex pleasure, there is no difference actually. In one sense, the experience of the different aspects which every species is experiencing, the pleasure aspect is same, but it is experienced in different ways based on the different bodies. That's the point which I'm trying to make here. The people are thinking that to have sex pleasure in a nice apartment is advanced. It's like a dog may be shameless to have sex in front of the public. We may have it in our apartments. But the experience of sex as such, whether what you're experiencing, what dog is experiencing, is the same. That's what the Bhagavata is telling, Prahlad Maharaj is telling, Narada Muni is telling, the same aspect, same teaching they are giving. So, but we are thinking we are very advanced. Just like the point we're discussing is how the process, the system of religion, or specifically Hinduism, is fatalistic. We are not advancing at all. There's no scope of advancement, was the point. But from the scriptural point of view, we are seeing that what is that advancement for you actually mean? You mean to say enhanced way or very glamorous way you're trying to experience different pleasures of eating, sleeping, mating, defending. That is called advancement, is what the point we're discussing now. So pleasure is basically the same, but a little different according to the body. But the scriptures point out that the real advancement of human life is self-realization. Self-realization means how much you have realized yourself. Self meaning Atma. Right? We are not the body, we are spirit soul. A spirit soul, we are spiritual requirement. A spiritual requirement is that we are supposed to see that this spirit soul is entangled in the body. It has to liberate itself from this entanglement. No more body, because every body has experience of this sense gratification in different ways, in different permutation and combination. It is a very wonderful subject matter. We will elaborate, deliberate on this more in the next session, but I'm just touching upon a few things. I have a few more slides, 2-3 slides to conclude today's session. So the Vedic civilization is meant for self-realization and not for dog's race. This is the point. So if you say that the religious aspects are fatalistic or religious process is fatalistic, no, it is not fatalistic. You are wrong. The religion is meant for our spiritual advancement. Material advancement is simply, it is all temporary, it is artificial, superficial. The material advancement should aid your spiritual advancement. If it is not aiding your spiritual advancement, then material advancement is useless. A very nice example is given, how when you decorate a dead body, it's like there are some communities when after death, the dead body is decorated very nicely. So what is the use? When he was alive, no facilities were given, but after he is dead, he is decorated and people take a lot of enjoyment from that. They dance in front of the dead body after decorating that dead body. So the modern civilization is like decoration of a dead body. It's a very harsh statement made in scriptures. It's a fact. So we may think that we're advancing or we are progressing. We have done this big thing, that big thing, advanced in technology, science, everything. But where is your spiritual growth happening is the question. So we have to introspect on this point. Even though we're advancing so much, the problems of life are only increased. The social problems, so many other aspects of existence are all increasing more and more. People are more in depression, more in anxiety. Health problems are increasing day by day. There are so many serious health problems where science has not discovered any cure for it, no medicine for it. And there's always constant threat of, again, more and more new waves of pandemic coming in. So like this, even though we say we're advancing, but side by side, we're also seeing that our anxiety levels are increasing. Our duration of life is decreasing. Our so many final aspects of life is diminishing. Why is it so? It's an important question we have to ask ourselves. Right? So the Vedic civilization is aimed at self-realization and not to jump up and down like animals. This is the conclusion. We'll talk more on this in the next session. With the last analogy, I will conclude this today's session. This analogy is a wonderful thing to understand with regard to how in a high court, we see a judge is sitting silently and apparently doing nothing. And somebody may say, oh, he's paid such a high salary. Whereas an ordinary peon there who is running around from morning till evening, carrying the files and delivering here, there, he is maybe paid 1/10 of the salary of the high court judge. If the peon starts thinking, oh, what is this? I am working so hard, but the judge is getting more salary, I'm getting less salary. This is exactly the example we have to take with regard to how human form of life is meant for a specific purpose. It has some, with some goal, this human life has been given to us. If you understand the purpose and act accordingly, then the purpose is fulfilled. If you simply think, oh, we're not advancing, we have to work or we have to jump like a dog or fly like a bird, that is the advancement, then we are mistaken. That is the point. So with this, I will conclude today's session and we'll continue our discussion on destiny. Some more interesting things are there to discuss. I request all of you to join our session, next session. Meanwhile, we'll take a few questions and any clarifications with regard to whatever we have discussed in today's session. I'll open the forum for any discussions and questions. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Any clarifications, you can ask now. Hare Krishna. No questions? No clarifications? Or no comments, at least? If nothing is there, we'll conclude the session now. Shall I close? No response. Hope we have... okay. I think you can unmute and you can speak. Okay. Fine then. So we'll continue our discussion with regard to destiny, especially very interesting topic, because it's very, very much connected with our life and how our destiny and others' destiny is influencing all of us, individually, collectively, and how we just discussed some aspect of material destiny. We will discuss more about spiritual destiny and also how the spiritual destiny is in our hand and we can really move forward in a very, very wonderful manner, understanding the secret. Okay, so more in the next session. Thank you everybody for being part of this session today. Hare Krishna.